Hello everyone. So today we are going to study paper 1 Child Development and Pedagogy Unit 4, that is Methods of Child Study. See, as teachers what happens is that we have to deal with the students, right? With the learners. So in order to deal with the learners, we have to know about them in detail, right? The family background they have, the social background they have, the cultural background they are coming from. So we have to know everything about them. It is just like when we visit a doctor. So doctor he ask us many questions, right? So based on the questions he asks and the reply we give, he prescribes the medicines to us, right? So in a similar fashion, we as teachers, we have to know the family background, the economic background, the social background, the cultural background of the learners, and accordingly we can take up the steps to improve the learner, right? So let us see what we have here. So child study refers to the systematic observation and analysis of children's behavior, development and learning patterns. There are various methods used in child study to gain insights into a child's cognitive, emotional, social and physical development. Here are some commonly used methods. See, in order to study a child or in order to study a learner, we have to analyze certain factors like the behavior of the child, the development of the child and the learning pattern which he or she follows. And there are various methods by which we can study about the child, right? Like observational methods, interview method. So there are different types of methods and there are various methods used in the child study to gain insight into child's. So see, why do we use this kind of methods? We use this kind of methods so that we can know the child's cognitive status, emotional status, social status and physical status, right? So we will go in detail about every child study, but as of now in the introduction, let's see what are these methods. So first of all, we have observational method. So this method involves direct observation of child's behavior in natural settings, right? So here what happens, we will observe the child or we will observe the learner in natural settings, right? Like how the child behaves at home, how the child behaves at school, how the child behaves at playground. So all this, his behavior or her behavior, her interaction with the peers, her interaction with the teachers, her interaction with the elders, her interaction with the parents. So we will observe everything in observational method. As the name suggests, observation means to see, right? To see how it is going to be. And here we do not interrupt the child, or here, you know, it can be like without the knowledge of the child that he or she is being observed, we can carry out this method of child study. Let us see interview method. So as you know by the name itself, interview methods. So interview can be conducted with children to gather information about their thoughts, feelings and experiences depending on child's age and developmental level. Interviews can be structured or can be unstructured. So here what happens, we can know about the child's background by questioning him, right, or her. We can ask what he thinks about certain thing, how he feels and what are his or her experiences on different backgrounds or on different topics. So we can gather a lot of information through interview method, and it can be both structured and unstructured. So structured means using predetermined questions, right, and unstructured means allowing open-ended responses. So these are the two methods of child study. Let's see the third one now, questionnaire method. As the name suggests, questionnaire. So questionnaires involve providing child or their parents or caregivers with a set of standardized questions to assess various aspects of development such as social skills, emotional well-being or academic abilities. The responses are typically given on a scale as written responses. So here see, when we are doing child study, we follow certain methods. All right, so one of the method is questionnaire method. So here what do we do is that we prepare questions, all right, and these questions are provided to the children, and through the we put such kind of questions here in which the learner can explain, not explain, but learner can give his or her ideas about how he feels in a society, how he feels emotionally, and how or what are his abilities in academic field. So we can put certain kinds of questions here relating to different fields to analyze and what to say, to conclude something from the questions and answer we get out of this test known as questionnaire method. Now let us see case study method. So case study method. So this method involves an in-depth examination of an individual child's development, often over an extended period. So researchers collect data from multiple sources, including interviews, observation, and assessment, to gain comprehensive understanding of child's development and behavior. See, case study method is a very detailed method, and this does not mean that this method can be completed within a day. It might take quite a long time, right? So here what do we do is that we collect the information of the child from different sources. It can be through interview, it can be through questionnaires, it can be through observations, it can be through assessment. All right, so we use different kind of test or different kind of methods to study a particular child, right? Now let us see experimental method. As the name suggests, in experimental studies, researchers manipulate variables to determine their effects on children's behavior or development. This method often involves the use of control groups and random assignments to ensure reliable conclusions. So this experimental method usually takes place in groups, all right, and random assignments are given to the learners so that fair conclusions can be met, right? Well, now let us see what do we mean by standardized tests. So standardized tests are formal assessment designed to measure specific aspects of a child's development, such as intelligence, language skills, or motor abilities. These tests have established norms and provide a standardized comparison of a child's performance. So when we carry out a standardized test, we are doing formal assessment of the child, all right? And what are the areas in which we are doing the assessment? That is like intelligence of the child, the language skills of the child, the motor abilities or the motor skills of the child. So these are the areas or domains in which a child is being studied in under standardized test, all right? The neuroscientific methods. So advances in neuroscience have introduced methods like functional magnetic resonance imaging, electroencephalography EEG, and event related potentials ERPS to study brain activity and its relation to child's development and cognition. See, these neuroscientific methods means it is something to do with the brain of the child, right? So they are like in a scientific way also we can study about the child's mental development or the cognitive development, his or her abilities, all right? Now ethnographic methods. So ethnographic research involves immersing oneself in a specific cultural or social context to understand how children's development is influenced by their environment, beliefs, and practices. This method focuses on understanding the child within their cultural and social context. See, here what they mean is that, see, the children, they are not coming from the same family background or cultural background or social background. They are coming from different backgrounds and they gather in the school or in the classroom, right? So here in ethnographic methods, what we do is that we study the child's social background, then cultural background, right? The environment in which he lives, the beliefs which he or she have, and the practices which they do in their cultural and social environment. So these also help us to gain a lot of information about the child, right? Now let us see, these methods are often used in combination to gather comprehensive and diverse information about a child's development. It's important to consider ethical consideration, privacy and consent when conducting child study research. So here they are saying that just because you need to do a research about a child, it does not mean that you will hamper his or her privacy. So it should be according to the will of the child or the will of the learner. It should not be like forcefully you'll ask them private questions or personal details you'll try to obtain without their consent. So this process of child study should be very friendly one, a frank one, and it should be a fair one. And also the most important part is that it should have the consent of the learner, right? So naturalistic observation and participant observation are two methods commonly used in child study research to observe and understand children's behavior in natural settings. Here an overview of each method. See, now we are going to discuss two main methods of child study, that is naturalistic observation and participant observation. Now why naturalistic observation is known as naturalistic? Because it takes place in the natural setting of the child, right? So we are going to learn all the different methods given in this syllabus, like the case study, the reflective journals, anecdotal records, the naturalistic observation and participant observation. All right, so all these we are going to see in detail. And friends, the video can be long, so have patience and try to learn what I'm trying to share with you. All right, so the video might be long, so try, you can watch in like different, whenever you find it convenient, so you can study accordingly. And yes, you can, many of you keep on asking me about notes, right? So friends, I would just like to say that I don't have any specific notes as of now, but yes, you can always ask me for the PDFs I'm using in videos, or else you can just write down these points whenever you are watching this video. That will be the best option you can have. All right, so let us continue. Well, now let us study about naturalistic observation and participant observation. All right, naturalistic observation involves observing and recording child's behavior in their natural environment without any interference or manipulation by the researcher. The goal is to capture their behavior as naturally as possible. Researchers carefully observe and document behaviors, interactions, and contexts without intervening or influencing the situation. See, suppose you are carrying out this naturalistic observation method, naturalistic observation and participant observation. What you have to do is that you have to be as much as possible, you try to be natural. As much as possible, you try to capture the child's natural behavior. The child should not know, right, that he or she is being observed. So you just try to focus on how the child naturally behaves with his friends, peers, teachers, elders, parents, how he interacts with his society, how he interacts with the people around him or her. And you should not intervene, or you should not manipulate, or you should not involve yourself directly into this child's study, which means that the child should not know actually that he or she is being observed. Right, so let us see what are the different things we have here. So key features of naturalistic and participant observation. So number one is natural setting. The observations take place in child's everyday environment, such as school, home, or community. to ensure the behaviors are representative of their typical experiences. See, this method, natural setting, by natural settings we mean that about child's environment, everyday environment in home. See, this one I just explained already before, right? Like in the introduction only. So how the child behaves at home, how the child behaves at school, how the child behaves in the community, with his peers, with his friends, with his elders. So that is being studied here. Then unobtrusive observation. So researchers strive to be inconspicuous because and minimize any potential impact on child's behavior. They may use unobtrusive methods like discreetly taking notes or using video or audio recordings. Long-term observation, all right, there is a different method. So what happens here is that researchers strive to be inconspicuous and minimize any potential impact on child's behavior. So here what the researcher do is that they don't want the child to know that they are being observed, because when we as teachers see inside the classroom also, when we deal with the learners, what we see is that when the teacher is present, their behavior is different, and when the teacher is not in the classroom, their original colors come out, right? So that's how we should minimize the chances of getting the students know that they are being observed. All right, so it should be without the knowledge of the child, because it's natural. Now, long-term observation. So naturalistic observation often involves observing children for an extended period to capture range of behavior. All right, so here it says that observational method will be a long-term one, because you cannot just say in one day that the child's behavior is so and so, that the child's attitude is so and so. You cannot say in a day. All right, you cannot say in a day. You have to consistently observe the child. In certain situation the child may behave differently, and in certain other situation the child may behave in different way. So we have to take very good care when we are researching about the child using naturalistic and participant observation. Now let us see qualitative data. So observers document their observation using detailed descriptions and notes rather than relying on quantitative measures or predefined categories. For example, a researcher interested in studying children's play behavior in a preschool setting might spend several weeks observing the children during their free playtime. The researchers would document how children interact with peers, engage with toys, and exhibit problem-solving skills, among other observations. All right, so what happens here? See, even in the previous one it was saying that we can take certain notes, we can make certain videos or audios, we can do certain recordings in order to study the child in a better way. And here an example is given, like a researcher interested in studying children's play behavior in a preschool setting might spend several weeks observing the children during their free time. So suppose if we want to study the child during his play activities, so we might spend certain weeks observing the child during their free time or during their play time. The researchers would document how children interact with, see, when we are playing, maybe be it any kind of sports or be it any kind of activities, we interact with the peers, we interact with the players, we are playing with the friends we are playing with, right? And how do we make use of certain toys, and how we exhibit problem solving skills. So all these is studied in this particular method of child study, right? Now let's see the next one. All right, so participant observation in particular now. So participant observation involves the researchers actively participating in child's environment while also observing and recording their behavior. Unlike naturalistic observation, the researcher may interact with the child and other individuals in the setting. This method allows for more immersive and contextual understanding. All right, see, there is a difference between naturalistic observation and participant observation. So in participant observation, what happens? The researchers can involve him or her in studying the child. All right, the researcher can interact with the child, question the child, or like ask the child certain questions, or like he can observe directly from the field, right? Directly with the child he can interact, and he may get to know the child in a better way, unlike a naturalistic environment where the researcher is not involved. Now let us see active involvement. The researcher participates in activities, conversation, and routine alongside the child and others in the environment. This participation can provide deeper insight into the child's perspective. All right. So here they are saying that what the researchers can do. See, who are researchers? Researchers are the teachers, right? Or the persons who are interested in learning about the child. So we will converse with the child. We will set up routines. All right. And we will observe the child in different types of environment, so how he or she is behaving. So all these things are being studied and taken care of by the researcher, right? Now reflexity. Researchers reflect on their own biases, assumptions, and experiences that may influence their observation. They maintain reflexive stance to critically analyze. All right. So here it says that being a researcher, we cannot be biased, right? Or we cannot assume something that this child is so and so, so he or she should be so and so only. This child is a slow learner, so he is a slow learner only. This child is suffering or having dyslexia, so this child is having dyslexia. We cannot say this. So if as long as we are researchers, we have to do the research in a positive way, in unbiased way, all right, being impartial, and we should avoid assumptions and whatever like a predefined concept we have regarding that particular child. We should not practice that. It should be in the spirit of a true researcher. Now, insider perspective. By being part of environment, researchers gain a more nuanced understanding of the child's social interaction, relationship, and cultural influences. So it says that by being part of the environment here in participant observation method, the researchers have more opportunities to study the child in his social environment, the relationship the child built with his peers, friends, elders, parents, and teachers, and also the cultural background from which the child has come. For example, a researcher interested in studying children's language development may participate in a preschool classroom as an assistant teacher. By actively engaging with the children in various language-rich activities, the researcher can closely observe language use, interaction patterns, and the role of the environment in language acquisition. Suppose if you are a researcher and you are interested in learning about the language skill of the learner, so you might like to involve yourself in preschool classrooms where there are diverse language used, and you can interact with the children and gain as much as knowledge possible regarding their language skills. So here it says both naturalistic and participant observation methods provide valuable insights into children's behavior and development in real-world settings. These methods allow researchers to capture the complexity and diversity of children's experience, interaction. Alright, so here this is the conclusion that both the naturalistic method as well as the participant observation method plays a vital role in studying child's behavior and overall development. So these methods allow the researchers to capture the complexity and diversity of children's experiences. The children, they have different experiences, right? In family they have different experience, in school they have different experience, and with their friends they have different experience. So we as researchers, we get the opportunity to study the all-round development of the child and how he or she interacts with the different environment and the cultural background he or she is coming from. So everything contributes to a child overall development. We cannot say the child is the child's family background it impact the child's learning, but every aspect of every domain the child is related directly or indirectly have an influence in the overall development of the child. So we as teachers, we have to be extra we have to be extra cautious while studying the child, and we should not be judgmental and we should not be partial when dealing with the learners. We should try to be very much practical, all right, thoughtful while dealing with the child and their study. So all right, so now let us see what we have in the next subtopic. What we have, let's see. So now we have the case study method. So this is one of the important method of child study, right? And this method involves a very detailed study of the child, all right? So very detailed study. It does not mean that it can be done in a day or two. It will take quite some time, and also like this is one of the very good way to study the child in particular. Let us see. The case study method is a research approach used to gain in-depth, detailed and holistic insights into an individual's behavior, development or experiences. It involves an intensive examination of a specific case, often over extended period, to understand the complexities and unique characteristics of that case. The case study method allows researchers to explore individual differences, contextual factors and the interplay between various aspects of development. So here it says that the method of child study, case study I mean, it gives us an in-depth knowledge of the child, his environment, his different types of background, all right, and his experiences. So, and also it helps us to understand the interplay between various aspects of development, that is physical development, mental development, cognitive development, emotional development, social development, all right. So all these different types of development and how do they affect one another will also be assessed by this method. Now here are the key features and steps involved in conducting case study. So what are the different steps involved in conducting case study? Let us see now. Suppose as teachers, if we want to do case study, so what are the different things we have to take care, and what are the different procedures we have to follow in order to carry out this case study? Let us see. So selection of the case. So first of all, what do we have to do is that we have to select a case. So researchers choose a particular child or a small group of children as focus of the study. So here what happens is that this particular selection of the case, here in case study what happens, it can be conducted in, we can just select one individual, or we can also select a small group of children, all right, about whom we want to know or about whom we want to carry out a research. The selection is typically based on specific criteria. So what are the different criteria on which we select the children? Let us see. The age. So we have to choose a specific age. Then developmental stage, in what developmental stage they are in. Then unique characteristics if they have, or specific research interest or the areas in which we are interested. All right. Now the second step is data collection. So researchers collect data from multiple sources to develop comprehensive understanding of the case. Data collection method in a case study may include, so there can be different sources or there can be different methods by which data can be collected. So let us see what are the different ways by which data may be collected. So we have here interviews. So researchers conduct interviews with the child, parents, teachers or other significant individuals involved in the child's life. These interviews provide insights into the child's thoughts, feelings, experiences and perspective. Now what it's saying is that, see, if you want to study, suppose if you want to study child A, so you will like to meet and interview all the people connected with the child directly or indirectly. So the parents, you will ask the parents, you will interview the parents about the child's behavior at home. You will interview the teachers about the child's behavior in school, at the playground. Then also other significant, maybe the friends of the child, maybe the peers of the child may also be interviewed, and these interviews will give us diverse views or a diverse explanation about the child's thought, what he or she thinks, how he or she feels at home, how he or she feels at school, with friends, with peers, and what are the different type of experiences, the good experiences, the bad experiences the child has as he grew up, and what are his or her perspective about different things. All right. Then observation. So now comes the observation. Observation are conducted to document the child's behavior, interactions and reactions in various settings such as home, school or community. Observations can be done using naturalistic or participant observation methods. See here it says the next step is observation. We have to observe the child, right? Directly or indirectly we have to observe. So what are the settings in which we can observe the child? It can be at home, it can be at school, it can be at community, it can be at friend circle, right? So different areas of the child's interaction is involved while we study the child. All right. Now here it comes about document analysis. So researchers review and analyze relevant documents such as school records, medical records or personal diaries to gain additional insights into the child's development experiences. So here, see what are some of the sources which can give us an in-depth knowledge of the child. It's like as researchers, right, what we can do is that we can check the student's academic records, how he is performing in different areas of life in his school. Not only the academics, it has to be co-curricular activities as well, how the child interact with his friends, how the child takes part in different activities organized at school, then whether the child is having any medical history, so or how like see even the children, they have diaries, right? And in their diary, and writing diary is the best way to express oneself. This is what I believe. So even so even like I used to write diaries, right? I used to write my feelings there. So writing diary is one of the good way in order to improve your writing skills, in order to in order to express your feelings. All right. So we can even check the child's personal diaries, of course with the permission of the child, right? So we can check that and we can see how the child feels about different things he is related to directly or indirectly, and what are the different types of experiences the child have. Now standardized assessment. So researchers may administer standardized tests for assessment to measure specific aspects of child development such as cognitive abilities, social emotional functioning or academic achievement. So see, standardized assessment or standardized test can also be conducted in order to know the child's mental abilities, in order to know child's social and emotional functioning or academic achievement of the child altogether. Now we have analysis and interpretation. See, researchers carefully analyze and interpret the collected data to identify patterns, themes, and insignificant findings related to child's behavior, development experiences. The analysis may involve coding qualitative data, identifying themes, or using statistical analysis for quantitative data. So here it says once we are done with collecting the data, we have to analyze the data and consequently we have to interpret the data. All right. Now let's say report and presentation. So the findings of the case study are typically compiled into a detailed report that describes the case, present the data, and provide an analysis of the findings. The report may include direct quotes, excerpts from interviews or observations, and relevant supporting evidence. Researchers may also present their findings in the conferences or academic settings to share knowledge and contribute to the field. So here what happens is that once the data is collected, the report is prepared and the presentation is done. So these data are, well, the findings of the case are typically compiled. It is compiled, right, in detailed report that describes the case of the child. The data are being presented and provides an analysis of the findings of the researcher, right, and consequently a conclusion may be drawn. The case study method allows for a deep exploration of individual cases, providing rich and detailed information about a child's development, behavior and experiences. It is particularly useful when studying rare or unique cases, investigating complex phenomena, or examining the interplay between multiple factors influencing child development. However, it is important to note that finding from a case cannot be generalized to an entire population, as focuses on understanding the specific case in depth rather than making broad generalizations. See, it does not mean that once we have done the case study of the child in particular or maybe in group, we can generalize whatever the outcome is. We can relate whatever the outcome is with the entire population. We cannot do that because we have just selected one child, or we may have just selected 5 or 10 children. So we cannot generalize the conclusion, and we cannot believe it to be true for everyone, for the entire population. All right, so our study was limited. However, with this limited study or with this limited initiative, we as teachers or researchers may put a very big impact in the society as the leaders or as the backbone of the society. All right, so this was the, I think, second method. Now the third method, let us see what we have. So now let us see reflective journals. So reflective journal is also one type of child study method. So let us see what does it imply. So a reflective journal is a personal and introspective record of thoughts, experiences and reflections. So what is that? It is a personal introspective record. It's a record, all right? Record of what? The thoughts, the experiences one have, and the reflections, what the reflections he or she has. Alright, it is a tool commonly used in various fields, including, so these reflective journals might be used in education, it might be used in psychology and personal development, and to promote self-reflection, critical thinking and learning. It does not mean that it is included only in education. It might also be included in psychology, personal development, and to promote self-reflection. Then reflective journals provide individuals with a space to express their thoughts, emotions and insights, helping them deepen their understanding of themselves and their experiences and their growth. See, now what happens is that whenever you're writing your Mtet examination, what happens is that in MCQ, actually everything is MCQ, so there they give the type of study and they give a statement. For example, they will give it like a blank journal is a personal introspective record of thoughts, experiences and reflections. So you have to choose from case study, reflective journals, then what's that, naturalistic observation. So from there you have to choose one correct option. So it is so this reflective journal provide as an individual's thought. It provides us information about an individual's thoughts, the emotions one undergoes and the insights one is having. Right, so it is one of the best way to understand all these aspects or domains of life. Right, so now in order, if you want to carry out this reflective journal method of study, what you will do, you have to follow these procedures. Right, so let us see what are the different procedures involved. So here are some key aspects of reflective journals. Purpose: why do we need reflective journals? So reflective journals serve multiple purposes, including, so what are the multiple purposes? Self-reflection. So first factor or the first domain which a reflective journal help us to like understand is self-reflection. So they encourage individuals to reflect on their experiences, actions, and decisions, gaining self-awareness and insights into their thought, emotion, and belief. Now see, suppose if we are making a reflective journal, it will help us to understand or reflect in whatever has happened already, the experiences, the good experiences, the bad experiences we had, we will be able to reflect on it. Then the actions we perform knowingly, unknowingly, and the decisions we make, then the gaining, and this also help us to gain awareness about ourselves. It help us to know ourselves better, right? No, see, everybody is interested in knowing others, but nobody is interested in knowing oneself, right? So we as educators, we practice what we preach, right? So if we are trying to if we want students to do any particular activity or any particular we expect any particular behavior from the students, so it is very obvious that we as teachers or educators should do it first, right? So see, you cannot suppose see, let me just give you a simple example. Suppose if you are a teacher and you are chewing a chewing gum inside the classroom while teaching, and you see the backbenchers or maybe the front benchers, anybody chewing the chewing gum, then you cannot say, hey, why are you chewing inside the classroom, go out and throw, because you yourself, you are doing the same. So until and unless we practice what we preach, we cannot bring a positive change, right? This was just a simple example. Nobody should feel offended with it, right? So now, learning and growth. Let us see. Reflective journals promote learning by encouraging individuals to analyze and evaluate their experiences, identifying areas for improvement and personal growth. See, by practicing reflective method of study, we can bring out our shortcomings, all right? And then what we can do is that we can evaluate, we can improve it, right? We can identify, and we may take the necessary actions required in order to improve that particular area in which we are lagging behind, right? Now, emotional processing. For emotional processing, reflective journals can be used. So journals can be therapeutic tool, allowing individuals to express and process the emotions, reducing stress and enhancing emotional well-being. See, we all talk about mental health. No, not mental health. We all talk about physical health. We say that do morning walk, do a bit of exercises, at least give 10 minutes to your body, at least give work for 10 minutes every day, or so many sort of things we say. But do we ever say that we need to be stable mentally? Or do we say we need to be stable emotionally? Do we give importance to our mental and emotional health? See, we might not feel that it is important, but my dear friends, it is the emotional and mental health is more important as compared to your physical health. Why? Because everything comes out from our brain, right? From our brain. So if you are not at peace with your mental well-being, how can you make peace with others and with your physical activities, right? So first, the priority should be the mental peace. We have to be emotionally stable, right? We have to be emotionally stable. We cannot be angry all the time, right? We cannot be angry all the time. We cannot show our temper all the time. We cannot be sorry for every little thing. We cannot give up, right? We cannot give up. See, when new teachers, they join the school, what the students do, they mock the teachers, right? In some of the school, they mock the new teacher. They try to play the fool around. But that should not discourage the teacher. He or she should be smart enough to tackle this kind of students as well. See, because that is only maybe in a 1 week or 2 week these things might go on, but as you get familiar with the students as you adapt with the school environment, class environment, you will be adjusted. But if you are not emotionally stable, you will not be able to adjust anywhere, right? So emotional well-being is very much important. As human beings, we all are emotional, right? We cannot according to the gender, we cannot say that females are more emotional than male, or males are less emotional than female. I don't believe in this. Everyone is emotional. The only thing is, some of us we show, some of us we don't, right? So we as educators should take care of our emotional well-being as well. Now let us see professional development. So in fields like education or healthcare, reflective journals help practitioners analyze their practice, identify strengths and weaknesses, and develop strategies for improvement, for professional development. So in the field of education or medical field, reflective journals help the practitioners, right? So those who are practicing, it helps them to identify the strength and weaknesses, the pros and cons, the shortcomings and limitations of the individual they are dealing with. Then structure and format. So what should be the structure and format? So reflective journals can vary in structure and format depending on personal preferences for specific requirements. However, they typically include the following elements. See, they are saying that according to our requirement, the format of the reflective journal may differ. However, for a generalized format of reflective journals, we may consider the following points given. So date and time. So what are the things which a reflective journal should include? So number one is date and time. So each entry should be dated and possibly include time to provide a chronological record. So the first thing is, we should have the date and time mentioned there in reflective journal, at what time and which date that particular thing has happened. Now descriptive details. So individual may include details about the specific experience, event or situations they are reflecting upon. So we have to give certain descriptions of the events. For example, if we are making a reflective journal of a child and there is an event called birthday celebration, so suppose if that child went to that particular birthday celebration and he was humiliated for his clothing, so those kind of small things we can include here, the situations. All right, then reflections and analysis. This is the core component. So this is the most important component of reflective journal. What is that? That is reflection and analysis, where individuals develop their thoughts, emotions and perceptions related to the experience. They may explore what they learned, how they felt, and significance of their experience. So here they can reflect, like how did they feel in that particular situations, and what are the important outcome or learnings they may take in from that experience, right? Now let's see critical thinking. So critical thinking, reflective journals encourage individuals to engage. Reflective journals encourage individuals to engage in critical thinking by questioning assumptions, examining biases, and considering different perspectives. So what is critical thinking? Critical thinking means we are able to think beyond the general notion. That is, suppose if we say Earth is round, we should not believe it that it is round. If it is round, how can you prove it? If you say that light travels faster than sound, so in that case as well, we should not just believe it. We are the learners, right? So we should have that positive behavior to question the things. We should not be biased. We should be impartial, unbiased, right? So we should question. We should ask the thing, why it is happening, how it is happening. We should not just take in, oh, this happened so and so. All right. No, not this way. So what we have to do is that we have to question it. So You said that we keep water in earthen pot during summers because it cools down. So the average people will say, all right, if we keep it in that mud pot, the water in summer, it cools down. But the person with critical thinking will question, sir, you said so and so, but how is that possible? Can you tell me why it happens, how it happens? So that is more important. So this is what is lagging in our children, right? So this kind of critical thinking we must this kind of critical thinking should be inculcated in the children. Now, self-awareness and personal growth. See, I feel like very surprising, no, when it comes to self-awareness and personal growth, because people are not interested in oneself, they are interested in others. They will not see the way they are dressing, but they will point the finger at others, right? This is a very simple example. So see, self-awareness and personal growth. Reflective journaling promotes self-reflection, helping individuals gain a deeper understanding of themselves, their values, and their personal growth over time. So see, you often hear a quote, no, that everybody's business is nobody's business. Everybody's business is nobody's business, which means that you don't have to focus on others. Just focus on yourself. Change yourself. Change your attitude. Change your behavior. Improve yourself so that you can grow in a better way. Never compete with others. You compete with yourself. You always try to make yourself better than yesterday and better than today. So every day we have new beginning, every day we have new chance to improve ourselves. It does not mean that we have to compete with others, we have to complain about others, we have to point our fingers at others. Just forget it, right? Just forget it, because at the end of the day it is you and only you. So be the creator of your own good life. Create your own life. Hold the steering of your wheel of life in your hand. Don't give it to anybody else. Do decide and take the decision according to your needs, right? Listen to everybody, but do what you believe is good for you, because nobody else can think for the benefit of yours as much as you can, right? So reflect. All right, so now let's see enhanced learning. By reflecting on experiences, individual can extract valuable lessons, identify patterns, and make connections between theory and practice, leading to deeper learning. So enhanced learning. So reflective journals also help us to have deeper understanding of ourselves. Then what are the feedbacks we are getting? We can work on it, and we can make connections between the theory and practicals, right? See, practicals or hands-on training are very much important. It does not mean that in school when we are teaching only our theory classes matter. So yes, of course, other subjects they hardly have any practicals, but especially science, maths also, and then even social science may have certain practicals. So the teachers can make effort to involve the children while teaching any particular concept. All right, teachers should make use of learning aids. Teachers should do hands-on activities. Teachers should involve the learners as much as possible, because see, when we do something by ourselves, we tend not to forget that, right? But if only the teacher is doing, we will forget it. So during our time the scenario was different, and today it's different. So today the students, they don't learn only from the book. They have internet sources, they have libraries, they have videos, they have YouTube, they have Google, right? So many sources of learning we have. Online classes, offline classes, tuitions, coachings, right? So everything needs to be changed according to the time. So now emotional well-being. So emotional, I think I have explained enough of it. So journal allows individual to express and process, reducing stress, enhancing emotional intelligence, and promoting overall well-being. All right. So it says that, see, as humans we all have stress, right? We all have stress, but it does not mean that we will carry the stress of our home and burst at the students in the classroom. Whatever the mood or whatever the stress you have, you should forget it outside the school campus as soon as you enter the school campus. So your school life should not affect your family life, and your family life should not affect the school life. So you as professionals should have a balance between the two. And how can that balance be achieved? It can be achieved only when you are emotionally balanced, right? When you are emotionally balanced. Now, professional development. Reflective journals help professionals analyze their practice, reflect on success and challenges, and develop strategies for, see, this is the same thing only. So suppose if we have any shortcomings, we can carry out different steps and strategies according to the need of that particular challenge. All right. Tips for effective reflective journals. Now, what can be some tips if we want to make a reflective journal? So be consistent. So consistency, what do we understand by consistency? See, the major problem we have as human is that we lack consistency. Even me, I myself, I lack consistency sometimes. So what happens? Suppose we want to do exercise, right? We want to do physical exercises. So what happens that time? We will do it 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, 5 days, 6 days. All right, we may do it for 20 days, but after that we are fed up. We don't want to do it anymore, which means there is no consistency. But consistency is so important. You know what? When a drop of water continuously keeps falling on a rock or a stone, it can tear the stone apart. It can break the stone apart, right? How? Why? Because of consistency. So consistency is the key to success. So whatever you do, be consistent. Try to be consistent in that, whatever you are doing. See, water and stone, they are opposite to one another, right? But still water can make a hole or can break the stone sometimes due to its consistency. So this is what we as individuals can do when we are consistent with whatever we are doing for our life. So establish a regular journaling routine to maintain continuity and allow for tracking personal growth over time. So we have to establish routine, right? How are we going to tackle, or how are we going to track our different domains of growth over time? Now, be honest and open. Write authentically, expressing thoughts, emotions without judgment or self-censorship. All right. So it means that when you are writing a journal, or yes, so you don't be like a judgmental. Don't say, oh, I did not study, so I could not write, or I was not prepared, so I could not deliver my lecture well. No, don't say that. Whatever the truth was, whatever the problem was, mention it correctly. All right, mention it correctly and be honest. See, when we want, human beings, we have ego problem, right? We don't want to admit. When we do certain mistakes, we don't want to admit. That is the problem we humans have. Ego comes in, but ego is useless. Ego is useless. So try as much as possible to be transparent in whatever you are doing as teachers and educators, right? Then use prompts or guiding questions. Sometimes using prompts or questions can stimulate reflection and guide the journaling process. So we can use certain kinds of questions. Suppose, why did I do that? Or why did I behave in that way? Or why did I create the scene there? What could have been done? Why did I overreact? Right? So those things you need to analyze And see, you might be finding it very comfortable to write down all these things in your diary rather than sharing it with your friends. So whatever the way you are comfortable in, you can do it, but always strive towards improvement, to improve yourself, right? Now practice effective active reflection. Move beyond simple descriptions and engage in deeper analysis, question assumptions, and critically examining experiences. So it says that the reflective journal which you are making should be active, it should be updated, it should be critically examined, and it should be a practical one. Review and revisit. Periodically review past entries to identify patterns, track progress, and gain new insights from previous reflections. So see here what happens. Periodically you have to visit or revisit your journal, whatever you have wrote about yourself, be it in the form of diary, or wherever you have mentioned anything about you, wherever you are keeping the track of yourself, you should always go periodically and check what are the patterns you can find out. There is one diary, I can't remember the name exactly, but that diary is very, 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 very interesting. You can just keep it as your reflective journal. So I think little change or something, little change or tiny change, yes, tiny change is the name of that diary. It costs around 1000 something. So that diary is a very, very, very interesting one, a very nice one. So I am using that. So you also can use to track your well-being, to track that diary includes all the domains of life. It includes all the domain of life: your physical health, your sleep, your moods, your financial financial updates, then your health updates, then your family updates, your trips, your sickness, your shortcomings, your wisdom, your knowledge, your understanding, then the people, the relationships. So everything, all the spheres of life are included in that particular diary, in that book. So I really love the book, and I am practicing and I am writing down, jotting down the things which happen in my life in that book. So you also can do the same. Reflective journals are a valuable tool for self-reflection, personal growth, and professional development. They provide private, safe for their thoughts, emotions. All right. So as it is written here, that reflective journals provide us the privacy. It gives us a safe space so that we can explore ourselves. We can write down the things about us. We can be honest with ourselves. We can be impartial, unbiased, and we should not be judgmental with our thoughts and experiences whichever we have felt. So this is reflective journal is one of the best way in which we can study the child, as well as we can apply this in our own life, right? Every individual can apply it in our own life. So everybody have a story to say. All of us, we have a story to tell, right? So keeping all this in mind, I think this is all about reflective journals. So let us see what we have in the next subtopic. Well, so now let us study another method of child study, that is student portfolio. So friends, personally I practice this one, that is student portfolio. So I was taught how to make a portfolio of the student, how to use it, how to analyze it, how to make the format, and how to use it in order to understand your learners well. So I personally practice this, right? So you as educators can also do the same. So in this, what I do is that I make a format, I make a form type of format where I take the picture of the student and I write all the details of the child. So it really helps me to understand my learner in a very positive way. So other mode of child study I'm not doing as of now, but yes, whenever I get the opportunity I will try to do. But yes, right after my B.Ed I have started practicing this student portfolio. So if you are also interested, you please maintain this student portfolio. So you will be able to know each of your learner with this one, what to say, in detail, no, you'll be able to know them. So let us see what the student portfolio has. So a student portfolio refers to a purposeful collection of a student's work and achievement, showcasing their growth, progress and skills over a period of time. It is comprehensive and tangible record that demonstrates a student's abilities, accomplishment and reflection across various areas of learning. So this student portfolio is a collection, all right, collection of different activities the students perform, a collection of the academic as well as the co-curricular activities, the limitations, the pros and cons, the problems, the success the students are having as they are growing up. So all these things are included, whatever the problem they have, whatever the success they have, what are the achievements they have, the progress they are making, the growth and the skills they have developed, the skills they are learning, the habits, the interest in which like they want to take up as their hobby. So everything is included in this. So here are some key aspects of student portfolio. So purpose, why do we need student portfolio? First of all, so purpose is, the primary purpose of a student portfolio is to provide a holistic view of students' learning journey, highlighting their strength, areas of growth and accomplishment. Portfolios serve multiple purpose, including, so see the purpose, there are many purposes of setting up a portfolio. However, like the main basic idea of maintaining a portfolio is like to know the journey of the learner, right? To know the journey of the learner, the strength and weaknesses of the learner, the areas of growth, all the areas of development, that is physical development, mental development, emotional development, social development, cognitive development, right? So all these areas of development are included here. So portfolios serve multiple purposes included. So what are the different purposes which can be served by this one portfolio? So let us see. Number one comes assessment. So portfolios can be used as an alternative or complementary assessment tool, allowing educators to assess a student's progress based on collection of evidence. So this portfolios can work as an assessment tool which can help the learners to assess the child or assess the student in a better way, all right? Because the student portfolio will have a collection of activities, a collection of detail which educator might require while assessing a student. Now, reflection and self-assessment. So portfolios encourage students to reflect on their own work, get goals and assess their own learning, promoting metacognition and self-directed learning. So see, these student portfolio will not only help the teacher, it will also help the learner, right? It will also help the learner to reflect back in which areas they need to improve, in which areas they need to in which areas they need to explore, in what kind of activities they need to be active in, what kind of co-curricular activities they are interested in. So what they were 5 years back and what they are now, how much they have improved. So all these are needed, you know. So this will help the students as well as the teachers. Now let's see showcasing achievement. So portfolios provide a platform for students to showcase their best work, project or accomplishment to peers, teachers and potential employers or educational institutions. So you know, when we are maintaining portfolio, there we will include the achievement the students have, the best work they have done, the prizes they have won, their different types of achievement in co-curricular activities and academics, the projects they have done, the paintings they have done, the what cultural items they have participated in. So all this will act as a pride for the student, because he or she can show it to the teachers, to the peers, to the parents and to all the potential employers or educational institution in which one is going, right? So demonstrating skills and growth. Portfolios allow students to demonstrate their skills, talent and growth across various subject, discipline or areas of interest. Now saying that by maintaining a portfolio, what happens, the students, they can demonstrate or they can showcase their skills, what skills they have. They might be good in language skills, they might be good in mathematical and logical skills, they might be good at art, they might be good at literature. So there can be different fields, and the talents they have, some of them might be very good at painting, drawing, dancing, sketching, singing, right, acting. And growth of various subjects, like see discipline, so some of them might get award for the discipline they have. And the areas of interest, like whatever the co-curricular activities or the sports they are interested in. Now, content of a student portfolio, what must be the content, what should be there in the student portfolio? Let us see. The content of a student portfolio may vary depending on the purpose, grade level, or specific requirements. So it is saying that the format of the student portfolio can vary or may be different for different purpose, for different grade, for specific requirements. So it depends on the individual who is maintaining that portfolio or who is preparing that portfolio, for what purpose he is doing so. However, it typically includes a selection of following elements. So however, there are certain elements which will be generally included in student portfolio. So let us see samples of student work. This includes representative sample of assignment, projects, essays, artwork, presentation, or other activity. See, this is what I already said. So these will be the inclusion of achievement by the learners. So assignment can be there, projects can be there, essays can be there, artwork can be there, presentation can be there, and the skills of the children can be there, the creativity, the knowledge they have. So all this different spheres of domains of a student's life may be included in student portfolio. Self-reflection and goal setting. So student may include written reflection or self-assessment that analyze their strengths, challenges, and areas for improvement, along with personal goals and action plans. So it says that student may include written reflections. They may write the improvement areas, the strengths they have, the weaknesses they have, the challenges they have, which may be improved in using different techniques, or maybe improved in a different way by taking different actions, different plans. So that also can help the student to reflect. Now, progress and growth evidence. So this also serve as the progress and growth evidence of the students. Portfolio may include evidence of a student's growth over time, such as pre and post assessment, progress report, or comparative analysis of work samples. So the student portfolio may also include the academic area of the student, that is progress report also might be included, comparative analysis, workshops can be included, and different type of performances or activities the student has done. So those all may also be included. Now let us see feedback and evaluation. So including teacher feedback, peer evaluation, or assessment that provide a comprehensive view of students' performance and progress. See, feedback is very important, my dear friends, these days. See, as I was saying shortly, about that ego. So ego is the problem now. So as teachers, as educators, what we can do is we can always ask for the feedback of the students. We don't understand until and unless we ask the feedbacks. Tell them that, my dear students, you write down whatever the feedback you have for me. It does not mean you have to write your roll number, you have to write your name. Don't write anything, just anonymously you write and submit it to me, so that I can improve myself accordingly. See, it does not mean that we need to improve only the students. We as teachers and educators, we have to improve ourselves. We have to upgrade ourselves first, and then only we can practice what we preach, right? Then only we should do that preaching, right? So we have to improve ourselves first, then only we can expect the students to improve as well. So this is one very important area. So I myself personally, I do this feedback thing, so you also might do it if you like it. Now, extracurricular activities and achievements. Portfolio can feature record of participation of clubs, sports, community service, leadership roles, awards, or certificates. So extracurricular activities and achievements. See, before, in olden times in school, we had only academics, no co-curricular activities. But now in every school we have co-curricular activities, because everyone is not interested in only academics. Some of us might be interested in football, some may be in cricket, or some may be in singing, some may be in dancing, some may be in music. So there are students of different background, so we cannot just say impose them to study only the academic books, only the books. We cannot say this. So co-curricular activities are also very important. And now, in addition to co-curricular activities, even vocational courses are provided in certain schools. So why to provide vocational courses? Because everyone is not interested in studies. Some of them just want the basic studies. After that, they want to opt for vocational courses. So if we are able to provide them with the vocational courses starting from the school, so it will be very beneficial when once they pass out their board examination, secondary and also higher secondary. All right, and some of them, they don't have enough financial support, so they are not able to continue their studies after 10 or after 12. So in those areas, it really helps the learners if we can include vocational courses in our school. All right, so organization and presentation. So student portfolios can be physical or digital depending on the preferred format. When organizing and presenting a portfolio, including points considerations include. All right, so see, it does not mean that the student portfolio can be only in the form of paper or book. It can also be in the digital format. However, when organizing and presenting, when you are presenting a portfolio, you must take care of certain points, clear structure. So portfolios should have logical and organized structure that enable easy navigation and understanding. So when you're preparing a student's portfolio, you should make sure that it is very flexible one, it is very easy to navigate, it is organized well, right? It should be organized well so that it becomes very easy for the presenter as well as the audience, the presentation. So you must be organized. It should be systematic, it should be it should be up to the expectation, right? Now, annotation and explanation. So student may provide annotation or explanations alongside their work to provide context, highlight key aspects, or showcase their thought processes. So now here what happens, students are also given the opportunity for explanation alongside to their work to provide context, highlight key aspects, or showcase their thought processes, right? So students may provide annotations or explanation alongside their work to provide context. So it gives the opportunity to the students to express themselves. Now, visual appeal. Portfolios can incorporate visual elements such as photographs, diagrams, or multimedia to enhance presentation and engagement. See, I believe that my audience, those who are listening to my videos, many of you might have done your masters, many of you might have done your PhD also. So I believe that somewhere or the other you might be doing some presentation. So I have a piece of advice for you. See, what they have mentioned here, please follow this. Suppose if you are going to do a presentation, make sure that you include photographs in your presentation, diagrams in your presentation, multimedia, be it audio, video, all right? Include that so that the audience, your audience are captured. They don't feel bored looking at your slides only. It should be interesting. It should be able to hold the attention of the audience, right? If your slides, if your presentation is not effective, you are not going to get any positive feedback, or you are not going to hold the attention of the audience for long time. So this is my suggestion, that whenever you make a presentation, make sure that you are using visual effects, you are using videos, you are using audios, you are using GIFs, you are using photographs, pictures, examples, right? So try to make your presentation as effective as possible, right? So why am I able to say this? Because once I shortly went to see presentation, but it was so boring that we all whoever went to witness that presentation, we all literally slept because it was so boring. Only the slide, only the slide, only the slide. So try to use visual effects for your presentation. Now let us see reflective statements. Include reflective statements or narratives that accompany the work samples discussing the students' learning experiences, challenges, and growth. Reflective statements. So reflect means what? Something which has already happened. So we should use some narratives or statements, all right, accompanied with the work samples while discussing the learners' experiences and challenges and areas of growth and development, right? Now, students' portfolio empower students to take ownership of their learning, reflect on their progress, and showcase their achievement. They provide a comprehensive view of a student's abilities, growth, and development, promoting a holistic understanding of their skills and potential. Additionally, portfolios can be valuable tools for college application, job interviews, or personal development beyond the academic settings. So here what it says that students' portfolio help the learner in a very positive way. They are able to take ownership of their own life. They are able to take ownership of their own learning, of their own growth and development, of their own progress, of their own shortcomings, right? Of their own achievement. So they provide, the portfolio provides a big or larger area for the student to keep track of the abilities he or she has, the growth and development, and all the different area of life directly or indirectly related to him or her. And the holistic development. See, this is what Mahatma Gandhi said, right? I don't remember the exact statement, but it was something like holistic development of the child. Holistic development means all-round development of the child, which means education does not only mean the child should score good marks, good grade in exam. No, this is not the reason, or this is not what we expect by education. Education means all-round development, or as we say these days, NEP, right? 360 evaluation, 360-degree evaluation, which means it has to be all-round development of the learner, and we should assess the learner in everything he or she is doing, not only inside the classroom, but in the corridor, in the library, in the playground, in the laboratory. So wherever the learner is, however he is doing, whatever he is doing, we should always observe him or her, right? And we should bring out certain strategies in order to tackle the problems if they have any. Now additionally, portfolios are valuable tool for college applications. So whenever you are applying for a college, you can show your portfolios, all right? Whenever you are going for job interviews, you can show your portfolios, which means your achievements are included there, your certificates are included there, your medals, and whatever you have done for the society, your charity work, anything can be included here. Your personal growth, your skills, right? Your education, your experiences, everything will be included in that particular portfolio. So this help whenever you are maintaining a portfolio, it does not only help you, it helps the recruiters, the colleges in which you are going, and most importantly, it helps you to be a better human being than you have been yesterday, right? Well, now let us see the last method of child study, that is anecdotal records. So here, anecdotal records are concise and objective description or accounts of specific incidents or behavior observed in a child's learning environment. They involve systematic documentation of noteworthy events, interaction, or behavior that provide valuable insight into a child's progress, strengths, challenges, and development. Anecdotal records are commonly used in educational settings to gather qualitative data for assessment, observation, and planning purpose. So anecdotal records are a record which is not very lengthy like the case study. So it is a concise, a short one, which includes the objectives or the description, all right, on account of students' behavior. So how a child behaves in different given environment, and what is his or her learning environment, and how that environment is impacting him. So they involve the systematic documentation. So documentation of noteworthy events like the interaction of the child with the environment. See, all of these are child study methods, so this will be quite similar, but that is not same, but it is similar, right? So that's why you see the same term, terms over and over again. So here also it says the same thing, that interaction, then behaviors, then provide valuable notion about the child, right? So what is the progress of the child, whether the child is progressing or not progressing, what are his or her strengths, what are his or her limitations, shortcomings, weaknesses, challenges, development. So all these are taken into account while making an anecdotal records, right? And these anecdotal records are basically used in the educational institution for the to gather qualitative data for assessment of the child, for observation of the child, and for planning purposes about the child, right? Now let us see, here are some key aspects of anecdotal records. So why do we need to make an anecdotal record? Anecdotal records serve various purposes in the educational context, including, so there are different purposes, there are different reasons why we make anecdotal records. So number one is assessment and evaluation. So in order to assess the child and in order to evaluate him or her, we use anecdotal records. So they provide evidence of a student's progress, skills, and behavior, which can inform assessment and evaluation processes. So as we have seen that this particular anecdotal records are used to know the student's progress, the skills they have, and the behaviors which they show, right? Now, individualized instructions. So anecdotal records help teachers identify individual strengths, weaknesses, and specific needs, enabling them to tailor instruction and support to each student. So these anecdotal records, it help the teachers to individualize or to study the students individually, right, in particular, so that the teacher can give the best help required by the child for the better and the best outcome. All right, so according to the need of the individual, the help or the aid can be provided. So behavior management. By documenting specific incident or behaviors, anecdotal records assist in identifying patterns, triggers, or intervention to manage challenging behaviors effectively. By documenting specific incident or behaviors, anecdotal record assist in identifying patterns. Yes, see, suppose if we are mentioning certain incidences the child have in his or her life, the tragic incident can be to lose the loved ones, right? Suppose if somebody's father is no more or mother is no more, so in that case, that it's a incident in that particular child's life, right? So maybe because of that the individual might be behaving in certain way. So all these incidences and the happenings of different events in an individual's life is taken care of while making an anecdotal record. Let us see the, yes, and they are talking about behavior management. So the behavior of the child can be different with different individuals, right? The student might be behaving differently with me and differently with their parents, differently with their peers, and differently with their siblings. So the behavior is different for different people, right? But we should make sure that the behavior should be an acceptable one. Now, communication and collaboration. So anecdotal record can be shared with parents, guardians, or other education professionals, as well as communication and collaboration in supporting the student. Now, once we make the anecdotal record, it can be shared. We can give that anecdotal record to the parents to make them see how their child is behaving, or what are the events has happened to the child's life, or what are his or her shortcomings, what are his challenges, progresses, how much they have progressed. So all these can be taken care of when we are making anecdotal records, and these anecdotal records can be given out to the parents, to the teachers, to the educational professors, or to anybody in need of, all right, so that they can collaborate with one another. The content of anecdotal records. So if we are making an anecdotal record, what are the content we should look for? So let us see an content of anecdotal records. Anecdotal records typically contain the following. So these are the below mentioned headlines are the things which can be included in an anecdotal record. So description of the incident. See, it is talking about the incident. So in Mtet exam also sometimes you get like which case study involves the incident which has happened in the child's life. Name the study, name the type of study in which the incident is mentioned. So you have to give the answer, as anecdotal records are the ones where the incident, description of the incident are given, all right, about the child. The record describes the specific incident or behavior observed in a concise and objective manner. It provides detail about what happened, when and where it occurred, and who was involved. See, as I was mentioning, incident. Let me take an example of a small incident, the same one I have already used. So suppose if there was a birthday celebration of class 10, all right, class 10. So all the students went. Then let me name one person with A, all right. A also went. The name of the person is A. So he also went for the party, but he was coming from a very poor background, so his dress was not as good looking as his friends. So he was humiliated, he was insulted in front of the entire group of friends, all right. So how will he feel? He will feel very sad and bad, right? So this is one of the incidents. So we have to know, when did this incident happen, why it happened, where it happened, who are the people involved in it, who is responsible for it, how did the child feel after that. So all these things needs to be analyzed. Now contextual information, relevant contextual information details such as the learning environment, materials or activities at the time of incident may be included to provide a broader understanding. See, we as parents or teachers, we have to make sure that our student or our children are provided with the best environment possible for them to study. So in many families, the children, they don't get the type of environment they must be getting in order to perform best way possible. So we have seen broken families, we have seen what will I say, we have seen like if the parents are not educated, so they don't know how to make rooms for the children. So there are different reasons. Maybe some people, they have small house, they do not have big rooms, so that one room can be given for the child to study. No. So we have our own shortcomings. All of us, we have problems, right? We all have problems, different types of problems. So we have to know how to deal with it. We have to know how to deal with it accordingly, and as much as possible we should provide opportunity to the learners. Even the neighbors play an important role in shaping the future of the child. Suppose if my niece is studying for her examination, if neighbor is playing loud music, what happens? She will not be able to concentrate in her studies, right? So this is how the background, the society matters, and as responsible citizens of the country, we have to take extreme care in shaping the future of our children. So as teachers, as educators, I would also like to request you all to be good neighbors, to be good parents, to be good teachers, to be approachable. The best quality or the most important quality as a teacher or parent we should have, what I feel according to me, is being approachable. You should be approachable. The child should not be scared of you. He or she should be he or she should not be scared of you. They should be you should be friendly enough so that the child feels at home, and the child feels like I can share anything with my father, I can share anything with my mother, I can share with my brothers. So everybody have their own problem. Don't think that the children, they do not have problem. The children also, they have their own problem, right? So everyone have their own problem. So we have to take extra care whenever we are dealing with the children. And as you know, the characters, the behaviors you are showing to the children is going to affect the children in a positive or a negative way, in whichever way you are showing to them, because they are very fast learner, quick learners. So whether you show good thing or bad thing, they will learn it. So I would just like to say, like, be good neighbors. So whenever there is examination going off, your neighbor, try not to play loud music. Then also when at your home itself, when examination is going on, do not allow your child to go out, roam around. So let him or her study. So you have to take extra care, you know. And suppose if you are making your children to work at home, so reduce their work, you do the maximum work for them. So see, I know that being the children at home, we should help our parents, right? We should help, but yes, we should know when to help and when not to, and when the children should get time to study. So all these things, you know, we are all educated, right? We are all educated individuals, educated citizens of India. So we should know how to take care of our children in shaping their future, right? See, I gave such a long lecture, I forgot where I was. Description of where I was. All right, here, objective observation, I think. So objective observations, anecdotal records focus on factual and observable information, avoiding subjective interpretation or assumptions. They describe what was seen, heard, or recorded without aiding personal options, or they describe what was seen, all right, heard, or recorded without aiding personal opinions, I mean, or judgments. So see, whenever you are making an objective observation, what happens is that we have to be unbiased, we have to be impartial, we have to believe in facts, all right? We have to write exactly what was seen, what was heard, what was recorded, all right, and what have the witnesses seen. So that we have to write it without being partial, right? Relevance and impact. The record may analyze the incident's significance, its impact on the student's learning or social emotional development and any connections. All right, now this the record, the anecdotal record which we are making, it should also include how the child felt when he was insulted in the birthday party. What were the impact his mental health had? What was the impact his social relationship had? What was the impact like he felt within himself? All right, so everything needs to be analyzed. Now let us see documentation process. Timing. Anecdotal records are typically documented as soon as possible after observing incident to ensure accuracy. All right, so in order, if you are planning to make an anecdotal record, you have to make sure that you make it as soon as the event has taken place, or as soon as the incident has taken place. So timing is very much important. All right, now let's see the objective language. Use clear, specific, and objective language to describe incidents, focusing on observable behaviors rather than making interpretation or assumptions. So we have to use a clear language, we have to write it clearly, we have to use easy words so that anybody can understand. We should describe the incident which has taken place, when, where, how, whom, who are the persons involved, what was exactly said, how that person exactly felt. So all these things needs to be given there, all right? And interpretation or judgmental statement should be avoided. You should not judge anything, you should be unbiased, you should not impose any of your feelings out there. It has to be the original version only, right? Use of quotes, so including direct quotes can provide a more accurate presentation of what was said. For example, all right, suppose A went to the party, you know, so B said that, you know, you are coming to this party with such a shabby dress. So it has to be written in the anecdotal record that B was the person who insulted A, right? A, and in the presence of C, D, E, F, G, all the alphabets were present there, all right? So why am I taking this A, B, C, D example? Because everyone's name starts with A, B, C, D, right? So you can relate it for yourself. So quotes, so you know, direct speech, indirect speech we study, you know, in grammar. So it should be in direct speech, like so and so said this and this, so and so to A, like that. Now consistency I already explained to you very nicely. So consistency should be there in everything you do. Consistency should be there. Then analysis and applications. Anecdotal records are used for various purposes. So how or what are the uses of anecdotal records? Why should we use anecdotal records? So let's see. Identifying patterns. Analyzing anecdotal records collectively can help identify patterns, trends, recruiting behaviors, providing insights into a student's progress or challenges. So it says that anecdotal records provide us the patterns, like what are the different patterns or trends which is taking place in the person's behavior. So we can understand, we can evaluate, we can analyze accordingly. Now planning and intervention. So whenever you want to plan something, you can use anecdotal records. So anecdotal records inform instructional planning, intervention strategies, and support service tailored to meet the students' needs. So we have to use anecdotal records in order to plan out, in order to see what can be done, so that this whatever the incident the child has faced can be can be made him to forget and to forgive and to let go. So and the impact that has had in child should be should be made to forget. So those things, now documentation. All right, this is the end. So documentation for meetings and conferences. Anecdotal records can be valuable references during parent-teacher conferences, team meetings, or individualized education program meetings. See, we can take out in anecdotal records when we are having a teacher-parent meeting, right? Teacher-parent meeting, and we can tell them about the shortcomings, about the progress, about the area of improvement the child have, the family background they are coming from needs to be improved. So what are the suggestions and advices we can give to the parents, and they as responsible parents should take care of. So this is what we can do. Anecdotal records contribute to a comprehensive understanding of a student's progress, behavior, and development by capturing specific incident behaviors within the learning environment. They provide valuable qualitative data that complement other assessment methods in promoting effective teaching, individualized report, collaboration among teachers. So see, making anecdotal records will not only help the students, it will help the teachers as well, it will help the parents as well, it will help all the educators and all the people connected directly or indirectly with the learner, right? Because we all can collaborate with one another in order to give this particular child a bright and better future, right? So we should be responsible enough, we as teachers, we as parents should be responsible enough. So this is what I have to say to you. So these were all the different types of methods of studies we have seen today in Unit 4, the methods of child study. So I hope you will take care of it, and in order to be responsible parents and teachers, please follow accordingly. All right, so I think this video is going to be very long, so you try to watch it in I don't want to upload in parts. When I upload it in part 1, part 2, part 3, it gets mixed up and jumbled up, so many of you get confused which one is first, which one is last. So because of that, this is the main reason why I upload the entire video, being it 1 hour or 1.5 hour, I upload in one single video. So let me know in the comment section if you feel that I should make it in parts, or I should make it the whole video at once. So you let me know. And I must thank every one of you. I think it's been 30 days or 40 days, and we have already reached 205 subscribers as of today. So I thank each and every one of you from the bottom of my heart, all the subscribers and all the Mtet aspirants. So you are doing a wonderful job, and I will try my best to serve you in the best possible way. And yes, many of you keep on asking me, sir, when will be the next Mtet examination? Can you send me the date? And also, as of now, we have not received any authentic notification from the government side, so it is not possible to say as of now. But yes, some hints are there that Mtet examination might be conducted in this year by the month of October, but this is not official, this is unofficial. So we exactly don't know when will it be conducted. Will it be conducted or not this year, possible or not, we don't know. All right, but as soon as I know, you will get to know. So stay tuned, stay in touch, comment whenever you have any problem, whenever you are happy. Yes, I received so many thank you messages, so thank you so much for that. That makes me feel really good. I feel like, yes, I'm able to help somebody. So always feel free. And as I said, as teachers we should be always approachable, so I'm approachable. So you can always feel free to ask me anything. And yes, some of you have sent me email also, so I'm very happy. So you can type an email and send me as well, right? So thank you for your love and support, everyone. So keep sharing, keep liking. You should like it, all right? You are not liking it, you're watching, the viewers are more but the likers are not. So you should like the channel, then you should share it as much as possible with your friends, and continue to show your love and support to Ashok Tutorials. All right, so with this note, I say bye bye to you. Thank you everyone for being here. Bye.